This video contains content that may be confronting.
There are concerns a Melbourne childcare worker charged with abusing a number of children may have worked at centres on more dates than initially identified. Reporter Kate Ashton joins us now from Melbourne. Kate, what has sparked these new concerns?
Hi Jade. So what we've been hearing today is the ABC has been contacted by multiple different parents who are worried that this man, the alleged offender, Joshua Brown, worked at their child's child centre for longer than is listed by authorities. Now, let me just explain. So when the authorities came out with these charges, which all relate to offending at one specific centre in Melbourne's West, what they did is they also released a list of other centres where Mr. Brown, the alleged offender, had worked. The reason they did this was in part because there's a large testing response. So among the offences he's alleged to have committed involves food contamination. So nearly 1,200 children are being asked to test for sexually transmitted infections. And that's why where he worked is relevant, because of some of the families of these children who may have had children under his care at a different centre might be needing a testing response. But what we're hearing is some of those dates are inaccurate. So, for example, we've had parents from 3 different centres, actually all centres run by the childcare giant Affinity, one in Keilor in Melbourne, another one in Essendon, and a third one that the parent didn't want to be identified, where the dates don't match up with the dates that are on the online website. So from this, we've heard from parents, there's not only a concern that, that their children might have had a wider exposure or been under this person's care for a longer amount of time. There's also a concern that other parents might not be getting notified because their child might have been at the childcare centre at a different time that's not listed online. So that's what we've been hearing from parents today. Some very distressed parents, as you can imagine, trying to figure out this news.
And Kate, what has the response been so far to this development?
So far we've reached out to Affinity, as I mentioned. That's a large childcare provider that runs 3 of the centres that we've heard from complaints from parents today. They say earlier on they were asked about the hours worked by the alleged offender and had provided that information to police. But today they were cross-checking it and making sure that those dates are correct. Now, we understand that today they actually have provided some updated information to police, and police have assured us that the investigation is ongoing. So there is a chance that some of those dates for specific childcare centres may change. And now, at current, the government has a list of different childcare centre locations and dates on their websites. We're keeping an eye on that. We haven't seen it change just yet, but it's very possible it can. So any parents who are impacted or whose kids may have attended a childcare centre that isn't in the window are encouraged to keep looking at that website. And just in some further news, we'd already heard that there would be a review into childcare in Victoria after this incident. We've just heard from Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen in a statement that review will be led by former South Australian Premier Jay Weatherill, and it's supposed to be a rapid review looking at lots of things related to childcare safety, and it will report back in August. So surely lots more to come on this story.
Kate Ashton in Melbourne, thank you. And if this story has raised any issues for you, you can get help by calling the National Sexual Assault and Family Violence Counselling Helpline on 1800 RESPECT. That's 1800 737 732. Kids Helpline also offers free confidential counselling for young people aged 5 to 25. Call 1800 55 1800 or visit their website.